Cool guy.
Hi, welcome to SAP UI5 and Fiori Demo. My name is Ravan Kumar. I have 9 years of experience in SAP and currently working as a UI5 developer. In this session, I am going to take you to SAP UI5 Overview and Fiori, and I am going to cover the architecture and the features of SAP UI5. And in final slides, I am going to cover the course content and the salient features of the course. Then first question, why we need SAP UI5 right now? In 1973, in SAP started its business. It is in the command prompt based model. Their customer used to enter the details and they used to get the details in that screen itself. And in 1996, SAP has introduced GUIs. These GUIs are present in the presentation layer, and these are developed by ABAP. So these ABAP code is directly integrated with the database. So even today, 90% of the clients are using SAP's GUI screens for their business. And in 2000 and 2002, SAP has introduced one more component called WebDAM Pro. That time, SAP wanted to move that user interface to browser-based model. So WebDAM Pro has come into picture, and even today, few clients are using their WD as the SAP GUI component. And right now, even apart from the browser and SAP GUI, most of the people are using mobiles and tablets and laptops, and this number of devices has increased. So SAP wanted to move into device independent, and then more user response, and then performance rich application. So that has come up with a language called SAP UI5. So what is SAP UI5? SAP UI5 stands for SAP UI Development Kit for HTML5. UI stands for user interface, and 5 is derived from HTML5. Actually, SAP want to build a layer on top of HTML5 library. HTML5 is the latest browser technology that has a rich set of library that renders all content of media, and it has deep social integration, and then it has rich set of charts. So even today, the HTML5 is renewed for its rich user experience. So HTML5 is nothing but a library, custom library built on HTML5 language. And then why SAP UI5 is basically a front-end design language used for development of SAP UI5 apps based on HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. We need these three languages to implement an SAP UI5 app. So meanwhile, I'm going to cover this importance of these three, why and where we need these three elements in SAP UI5 design. Let's see what are the principles of SAP UI5. Basic principle of SAP UI5 is SAP want to move that business to fit on any screen on any device. So then the application should be able to access on a desktop or laptop or mobile or a tablet without coding separately for each device. So if you develop the application once, so that should accessible through any kind of device, and that should have rich set of controls like charting library, and it should have that social media integration, and it should render that media based files too. So SAP HTML5 has this kind of feature. So UI5 is based on HTML5, so that will render all this kind of controls. And then powerful theming and branding. That is, SAP has many theming designs, so you can customize the theme and branding according to your needs. And efficient in performance, lightweight application. Like the SAP UI5 application is very responsive. Like it won't lag any kind of and it won't give any lag in user interaction. And it is a very lightweight application. Lightweight in the sense very few fields will make a business transaction here. Like SAP UI5 mainly we are going to use for very lightweight, means uh, uh, screens which doesn't need much information. So where we are going to use SAP UI5. If you see the current SAP landscape, 80% of the business is done by only 20% of the transactions, like sales order, purchase order, employee time sheets, and leave requests, and then kind of approvals. So these 20% of the transactions will be able to deliver the 80% of the business, and remaining 20% of the transactions like MRP and BOM and production related T codes are meant by used by few clients, and then users number of users are very less who use this kind of transaction. So our aim is to implement SAP UI5 based apps for this 80% of the business. What do you mean by 80% of the business? We are going to implement UI5 apps for 20% of the transactions. So here we have three steps: new, renew, and enable. And new in the sense, if you want to develop an app, you have to go blindly for SAP UI5 technology. So we are going to develop a new application in the new paradigm. And in renew, like you need to integrate the SAP UI5 app to the existing business. So that is called Fiori. So yeah, SAP has SAP keep on delivering a set of apps for that generic business transactions like sales order, purchase order. So what you need to do is you need to customize those apps for your business. You don't have much development effort there. So you just need to customize the app according to your needs. And what are all the SAP UI5 features? As we already discussed, that SAP UI5 application will fit on any screen, and it has rich set of libraries. So it has cutting edge controls, and it has powerful theming and branding, and its performance is very best compared to other mobile applications. And then in terms of extensibility and then performance, I'm going to show you one application which I developed by me end of this slide, so we can see what is the performance of the SAP UI5. And then build and standards. Here we are seeing SAP is moving to openness. Openness in the sense, so far SAP business is contained with ABAP. So from now onwards, we are going to develop the applications using a Java-based platform, and Eclipse is going to be our design time environment. So that is in the openness in the sense even Java people can learn SAP UI5, and it is open to many other open source languages. So what are the things we need for SAP UI5? There are many languages, but primarily we need HTML5, CSS3, and jQuery. jQuery is meant by Java script-based language, by is some kind of advanced language. So we are going to use jQuery as a controlling library. And SAP UI5 runs on any database. SAP UI5 is built on Java-based and HTML5-based platform. So that is on top of the data. So mean by irrespective of the platform, you can access the data so that SAP UI5 can run on any platform and any operating system. Let's see what is SAP UI5 architecture. If you see, in SAP we have three layers in R3 architecture, that is presentation, application, and the database layer. Here too we can classify the architecture into three. That is, one is we can say presentation. Here we have lot of devices and a lot of web browser based content, and then mobile content, and enterprise software and social media. All these are into presentation layers, and application request will be generated from this presentation layer and will be forwarded to the next layer, that is called SAP NetWeaver layer. There it will analyze that type of the request, and if it is involving any database access, so that will forward that data request to SAP ERP system, which has been lying under the SAP NetWeaver system. So we have three layers here. One is ERP, and the second is NetWeaver layer, and third one is presentation. So we call it is a browser based or mobile app based or enterprise software based uh, uh, request. Like, if you see that how we are going to develop SAP UI5 application, SAP UI5 uses the most popular model view controller concept in the development process. Here, if you see, if you are aware of this model view controller, if you are from WebDM Pro ABAP, you will understand what is this model view controller concept. Here, what is model? Model is nothing but a business data. Like in our case, ERP system is a model. ERP system has its data. So we are going to access the data inside the model. And view is nothing but that will present the content to user. So we call a layout of the screen, and elements in the layout, and the buttons and everything will be inside the view. And controller will act as a interface between view and the model. So view, controller, and model. I am going to show you MVC architecture in the already existing development, so that you will understand how these three will complete the UI5 app. Here, views can be defined using XML with HTML, or JavaScript or JSON or HTML. And mostly we are going to use JavaScript, because JavaScript is a dynamic language. You can create any layout element or modify or delete the content dynamically. So we are going to use this JavaScript based views in our development process. Controller are again being developed by JavaScript based model, so that will control the data flowing across the views. And model is nothing but data binding, so it will have the APIs to communicate with the SAP system. These are all the SAP UI5 interfaces. on various devices. If you see, this is one of the application, that is a sales order application. The same application is being accessed by three devices. One is a phone, and one is tablet, and one is desktop. Same application has been presented in different way according to screen size in phone, tablet, and desktop. If you observe in the phone, that is occupying the entire screen space, so that based on your user inputs, that will flow the content in the next screen. So master screen, when you select one thing, and details page will come to override the master page, and you are able to see that in a single screen. In the tablet, that is fitting the content into two places, that is left hand side we have the master data. So when you click on this master data item, and where the item data will be displayed in that right hand side panel, so that is fitting the data accordingly. And if you see the same thing in desktop, that fits the data, like more data is being delivered here in desktop. So underlying thing is the same application is doing all this thing automatically. This is about SAP UI5 development. Like as I have already explained, we have a model view controller architecture. This is the model where we are going to have the data, and view is nothing but where we define the UI elements like buttons, inputs, or tables, everything. And controller is nothing but the actions, like if there is an action being taken place on the view, controller will handle the functionality. So this model view controller architecture will constitute our UI5 development. And index file is the basic file that we can call a bootstrap. Index file will be loaded when you call an SAP UI5 application. So in our development process, if you want to execute an SAP UI5 application, we need to run the index file. So this will call all the views and controllers accordingly. This is the live example of SAP UI5 application. Here in the left hand side, inside the web content, we have model view. Inside the views, we have controller components, and this is the index file content. This is the main entry point into SAP UI5. So this will load the libraries, and these are all the libraries, and these are all the themings, SAP Blue Crystal, and these are all the libraries. SAP.m is the UI5 library, mobile library, and this is for the layout library. We are going to initialize the application using SAP HTML5 in the index. These are all the SAP UI5 prerequisites. We need to know about ABAP to access the data from the SAP backend. So we need to have the knowledge about BAPIs, and we need to manipulate the data. So we need to have the data about select, modify, and delete statements, SQL statements. So we don't need much about ABAP, just like modification of the data and retrieval of the data. So that is just to create a model data. And HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS are the main requirements for the SAP UI5 development. We need HTML5 to design the index files and then create the screens, and the JavaScript to add functionality to HTML screens, and CSS is to add the layout styling to the front-end pages. This is the course content. I will cover the SAP UI5 overview, and inside that I am going to cover the architecture and the development process, and most importantly I am going to cover software components and installation overview. And after that, I am going to take you OData services. OData, like how you are going to access data from the HTTP protocol. So I am going to cover the OData basics, and then what is the XML and JSON data, and what are the get, put, and post, delete operations in OData. And the next chapter is SAP Network Gateway. So I'm going to cover how we are going to retrieve the data from SAP system. And front end is the main component of SAP UI course. So I'm going to cover HTML5, CSS3 and JavaScript basics, and I'm going to explain how we are going to develop the programs from the sample programs. We are until we are going to deploy the application in the mobile. So I'm going to show you various kinds of hands-on examples. And finally, I will explain you about SAP Fiori. Fiori is nothing but a configuration of SAP delivered app. So I will show you one Fiori app. So you can customize your Fiori application into your business in your real-time environment. So this process will be explained at the end of the course. Main features of SAP UI5 course is I'm going to focus more on hands-on examples, and I'm going to cover the real-time scenarios and problems and how to rectify the problem. And I'm going to cover one demo project here, like creating end-to-end UI5 application while analyzing the requirements and what are the things you need to consider while designing the application, and then what are the problems you will face in development and debugging. So I am going to cover these things at end of the course. Here I will show you one application which is developed by me. This is the application which I developed, and if you see, these are all the components in SAP UI5, and this is model, and this is view, and this is the index file. So here we are going to refer the libraries and themings, and we are going to tell the browser what kind of compatibility and languages we are going to access. So here in our application I have 3 views, and for these 3 views we have 4 views. So for each and every view we have one controller. So I will let me open one view. See, this is the master view. This master view will decide like how the page structure will be on master page. So I'm going to define these are the text elements, and these are all the I'm going to define bars and everything. So this will define the layouts of the master page, and this master controller will define what are the functions associated with this master page. So I'm going to explain you what is this code about, and how we need to develop this. So I'm going to cover all these things in our course. This model is the mock data. Just like I told, I have created some mock data, how the data looks like. This is the mock data. So based on this, we are going to display the content accordingly in SAP UI5. Let me open one sample application. This is called SAP Sales Order application. If you see, I am clicking on this first sales order. You click on this one, that details will be displayed in the right hand side, and that will have each and line item details. You can drill down into each and every line item, so that inside this we have more line item details you can verify. And after that, verifying each and every item you can approve that, and this approval will be automatically updated in the SAP database. So this is how the SAP UI5 application looks like. You can compare the application from this normal GUI application, that is VA05 transaction, and this one. So you will feel the user response, so that you will understand what is the significance of SAP UI5 technology from now onwards. Yeah. Yeah. In case of any questions, you can get back to me on my email ID, which has been mentioned in the first slide. And thanks for your time, and see you soon.